Happy Wednesday. On behalf of Tri-State Livestock News, the Fence Post, and Farmer and Rancher Exchange, I'm Sam Tenpenny, back with more Fair Cattle Markets daily headlines. Beef Magazine announced that for the third consecutive week, packers have been holding the kill below 600,000 head and, in collusion, all been trying to break the cash steer market. It has not worked as cash has edged higher over the last 3 weeks. But as we enter the third week of March with Easter right around the corner, the Lenten season is typically a poor time frame for beef demand, although the following 8 to 10 weeks is typically some of, if not the strongest demand of the year. By Memorial Day, sources believe choice beef could be trading close to $350 per hundredweight, if not higher. As we look ahead, the leverage is slipping away from the packer and toward the feedlots as seasonal demand hits the market. As this happens, packers will lose their hold and be forced to chase to compete fiercely for slaughter inventory so they don't lose their market share. On January 1, the industry had more than 1 million less feeders to place this year compared to last. With the supply of feeders outside feed yards being record small, it is mathematically impossible to place more animals this year, meaning that on-feed inventory will tighten, and packers know this. As beef production continues to decline, the function of the market will naturally be to ration the tight supply through higher prices. Sources show concern that beef could eventually be priced so high that many consumers will back away from the beef counter as they anticipate lower beef production not only this year, but next year and again likely in 2026. According to the Hagstrom report, the Mexican government has criticized the Product of USA label announced last week by Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack for several products, including beef, believing that the rule change ends retaliation in the international trade sphere and does not take into consideration the deep integration of the livestock and meat industries of North America. The label is voluntary, but the Mexican Ministry of Economy said in a news release translated into English that restricting the use of the Product of the United States label to products derived from animals born, raised, slaughtered, and processed exclusively in the United States is discriminatory against Mexican producers and could create barriers in binational production chains, in particular to Mexican exports of live cattle and beef and all its derivatives, which in 2023 estimated $3 billion. The Mexican government also threatened to take action through the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement on Trade and/or the World Trade Organization while reiterating its firm commitment to constructive dialogue as the preferred path to resolve differences with its main trading partner, despite their stance that the new rule creates inconsistencies with U.S. obligations to the World Trade Organization and that they reserve the rights accordingly. Both Canadian agriculture and international trade ministers said in a joint statement that they are too disappointed that the rule does not appear to take into account concerns that they have raised related to the unique and important trading relationship between the two countries, and that Canada intends to raise the issue during the agriculture ministers' trilateral meeting with the United States and Mexico that is scheduled to take place in Colorado later this month. The Hill reported that the North American Meat Institute released a statement last year explaining that Congress repealed country of origin labeling, also known as COOL, because Canada and Mexico challenged COOL as a non-tariff trade barrier. The United States government lost 4 times before the World Trade Organization authorized Canada and Mexico to retaliate and levy more than $1 billion in tariffs on goods. A representative for the North American Meat Institute told The Hill that the group did update their position after viewing a draft of the new regulation and did not fight the new label, stating that the USDA made some common sense changes to address some of their concerns, but noted that the governments of Canada and Mexico retain the ability to retaliate without action by the World Trade Organization. U.S. pork producers have also warned of trade retaliation resulting from the Product of USA label rule, arguing that pork production and distribution chains are internationally stick together as a result of both the 1994 NAFTA trade agreement and its successor, the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, which got rid of pork tariffs across the continent. The rule change is the latest sign of increasing protectionism in U.S. economic policies following the Made in America conditions on clean energy manufacturing provisions that were included in the Inflation Reduction Act. Former President Trump, the GOP's presumptive 2024 presidential nominee, has already proposed a blanket 10% tariff on foreign imports, a move that would further erode the international trade regime last significantly bolstered in the 1990s. Concerned about the U.S. pullback from agricultural trade, GOP senators wrote a letter Wednesday to Vilsack and U.S. Trade Representative Katherine Tai, calling U.S. trade strategy unambitious. Tune in next week for more Fair Cattle Markets daily headlines brought to you by Tri-State Livestock News, the Fence Post, and Farmer and Rancher Exchange.